What's the biggest misconception about the CIA? That it's a rogue organization not under the control of the president or Congress.
I think people think that we're cowboys, that we don't respect the law, and that we're spying on our fellow citizens, none of which is the case. We hold the Constitution in high esteem, which is why we serve, and everything that it represents is what differentiates us from our adversaries.
Well, if you ever want to know what real propaganda looks like, do you remember after 9/11 when Hollywood suddenly cranked out 3 big CIA-backed TV shows, all making the agency look like America's sweetheart, America's noble protector? And guess what? That wasn't by accident. If you go back even further in time, I'm old, okay? The groundwork was already there. The 80s and 90s were full of this stuff. CIA-flavored thrillers like The Manchurian Candidate. I think that was a remake too. Clear and Present Danger, Patriot Games, The Hunt for the Red October, or Hunt for Red October, The Sum of All Fears. I just remember a bunch of Tom Clancy books being made into movies. All pro-intelligence agency narratives. And these weren't just random hits. These were box office hits, and they shaped how Americans saw their government as heroic, even glamorous at times. And that is an old trick. Let's take Animal Farm, for instance, that in 1984. These are both critiques of totalitarianism. They were then adapted into films with the quiet backing of the agencies that wanted to steer the message.
Do you know what the CIA's very first mission ever in its history was? Was to overthrow a government and fix a word I can't say. And to do it, they used money that came from all of their business people friends. These Christian Democrats won by a comfortable margin and formed a government that excluded communists.
Communists, bad. They're the bad guys. And by comparison, Americans being the good guys. See, they understood that decades ago that if you use the media, and I'm talking about news as well as movies, you can really shape public opinion. After 9/11, they took it into overdrive. Alias with Jennifer Garner, that premiered September 30th of 2001. Shortly after 9/11, Garner's character was glamorous. She was a double agent working secretly with the CIA. A few years later, she's literally starring in actual CIA propaganda recruitment ads. Coincidence? Around the same time, you had The Agency, you had 24 with Kiefer Sutherland, again portraying the United States government operatives as the ultimate defenders of freedom. Go America. Then in the 2010s, we got things like Argo, telling the story of a clever CIA rescue mission, winning Best Picture, and then wrapping the agency in this feel-good American flag patriotic thing. And now the themes have shifted, hasn't it? People don't trust their government anymore. But the game hasn't changed. No. You might think, oh, why aren't they pumping out this stuff to make us feel good? No, see, they have a different agenda now. And there's 2 main reasons why their old playbook isn't working. Because this is a battlefield for your brain, your mind, and to brainwash you. Well, one is internet, right? No one's watching TV. TV was the arm of this whole thing, none other than Hollywood. But Hollywood is dying. I did a video on that went pretty viral. Nobody's going to these movies to see these people anymore when they can get it online, on streaming platforms, or just, in the comfort of their home, downloading movies that they find interesting. So now it's shifted. The themes have shifted. But the game hasn't changed. Instead of Cold War heroics or anti-terrorism plots, now we're getting dystopian near future warnings with movies and shows like Leave the World Behind, produced by Barack Obama, starring Julia Roberts. You guys remember this. And it's basically a glossy end of the world scenario with massive blackouts, self-driving cars, the rich retreating to safety while everyone else is left in chaos. I mean, we saw that house that they went to. I mean, she had everything in there from old DVDs to everything you could possibly need to be comfortable. And you can't help but wonder, is this entertainment anymore, or are they planting ideas about what's really to come? Well, think back of all those movies and shows. They all had an agenda. But here's the pattern. When the government or its allies want to steer the public mood, the movies start changing. After World War I, it was patriotism. Again, during the Cold War, anti-communism, anti-terrorism. All of these things happen in subsequent nature in order to guide you to where they want you to be. All you have to do is look at every show that you're seeing on Netflix, Black Mirror, Leave the World Behind, all of the doomsday type stuff, Fallout. Every one of these things want to steer the public mood. They want you to be depressed. They want you to give up hope. They want you to have this narrative of, well, there's no way out, and at some point we're going to be warring each other, fighting for resources. They love this. They feed on this energy of fear. So now it's doomsday and collapse. So the real question is, are these just stories that they're making up? I don't think so.
Billionaires are prepping luxury doomsday bunkers with moats that set on fire. The newest trend for the uber rich is building underground shelters complete with $50,000 trapdoors, parking spaces for submarines, water cannons, and a moat that literally sets on fire in case of intruders. Here's a literal rendering of how it would work in case of an external attack. According to builders of these luxury bunkers, the buying frenzy began after Meta founder Mark Zuckerberg announced that he was constructing a $100 million bunker in Hawaii. It got really busy, and it seems like the phone hasn't stopped ringing. World War III seems to be coming, Ron Hubbard, CEO of Atlas Survival Shelters, told The Hollywood Reporter. Renderings show a state-of-the-art medical room, complete with an MRI machine and top-of-the-line equipment. Of course, a state-of-the-art escape tunnel is a must, and so are bulletproof trapdoors leading to secret passageways. With the pandemic top of mind, builders have also thought of decontamination rooms. If the bunker somehow fails in apocalypse, parking spaces for extraction devices like super yachts, helicopters, and submarines can also be thoughtfully implemented into the space.
There are definitely previews and warnings, all dressed up as entertainment. But obviously that's for you to decide for yourself. But one thing's for sure is that the people in power already know how this ends. And if the movies are right, they'll be fine. But you might be the one left in the dark. Have a great day and think for yourself.